everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to understand what CHASCA and Ororon can do and their character potentials for any kind of players in Genshin Impact. As the characters are not out yet, so everything we are going to discuss today will based on the informations we have and my own thoughts on it. Hope it helps you all to understand these characters overall in an easy way. And before we dive into all of that, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of my contents. Now let's get started. First things first, CHASCA is a mysterious character with a unique set of abilities. She is an Anemo bow user with a focus on AoE damage and crowd control, but she can be also useful for single target enemies. CHASCA's normal attacks allows her to perform up to 4 consecutive shots with her bow. Her charge attack deals increased Anemo damage and her plunge attack fires a shower of arrows dealing AoE damage upon impact. But based on her kit, CHASCA mainly scales on her elemental skill, and while she is in that state, she uses her charge attacks to deal more damage. So basically, her elemental skill is where things get interesting. CHASCA deals AoE Anemo damage and gains Night Soul points, allowing her to enter the Night Soul's blessing state. In this state, she becomes airborne on her big gun-like thingy, increasing her movement speed and interruption to resistance. In that state, she can also perform normal attacks or charge attacks, but her charge attacks are going to be her biggest damage dealing attacks, where she can shoot 6 bullets at a time. First 2 bullets will be Anemo, third one could be any of the elements depending on the elements her teammates have, and last 3 will be in the order of your team composition. And most likely the bullets will shoot in a last to first order. These fire attacks will deal infused elemental damage with Night Soul aligned Anemo damage. CHASCA can only infuse her bullets with elements like Pyro, Electro, Cryo and Hydro, so she will not scale on Anemo, Dandro or Geo elements. Now based on CHASCA's kit and playstyle, it's clear that she's completely different than any other DPSs we have in the game right now, including Anemo DPSs. She not just deals damage from multiple elements, she also triggers the scroll reaction. As she does not scales on Anemo, so Anemo buffing characters like Faruzan or most likely an Anemo Goblet will not work on her. Shilonen and Geo characters are also the same case. Shilonen can't really work on CHASCA's team compositions because any element outside of the patch elements in her team will become another Anemo bullet, and it will not meet up to her rainbow team requirements, and that can harm her overall damage potentials. CHASCA's elemental burst fires a huge bullet that deals AoE Anemo damage. The bullet shells then splits into 6 Soul Seeker shells just like her skill. These shells will convert into elemental types of your party members, attacking nearby enemies and dealing additional Anemo damage. For CHASCA's best artifact set is the Natlan Obsidian Codex, but the Marshasi Hunter set can also be viable if you put Furina in CHASCA's team. By looking at all the information on CHASCA, it can be said that she will scale on attack and elemental mastery. Using an elemental mastery sans attack on Goblet and crit rate or crit damage on her circlet would be the best choice. Also look for some ER on her substats so that she can use her skill more often. CHASCA's best weapon would be her signature weapon, but the Natlan 4-star bow Chainbreaker is another best weapon for her. Anyone can get it from the Natlan Blacksmith. It scales on attack and elemental mastery boost. As CHASCA scales on her attack, a team with Bennett can buff her attack damage. Furina as a Hydro character and the best buffer in the game, and the new 4-star Oron cause he's a Electro character from Natlan who can use the hero set, and that will synergize with CHASCA perfectly by giving her and the whole party a massive elemental damage bonus. CHASCA also has some great passive talents, like one increases the duration of the Night Soul's blessing state, while another increases the damage of her Shadow Hunt shells based on the number of different elemental types in the party. Based on everything we get to know about CHASCA in this video, I must say she seemed like a solid DPS character. Her unique playstyle, the way she reacts with other elements, I like to believe she is going to be one of the best DPSs in the game. Also, we are getting buff on certain elemental reactions on the version 5.2 update, which I believe will also help CHASCA to hit great numbers. So I'm really excited for this character. I'm not a I don't wish on every character banners, but I really wanna get CHASCA. I'm an F2PH player now because of my content creating thing. So if you're someone who wants to invest on a great DPS, then I would suggest invest on CHASCA. It might be a great idea. Oron is a very unique and versatile character from Natlan. He is a off-field support and sub-DPS who is different than any other characters we have in Natlan right now. Oron unlocks a new meta for taser teams by his damage scaling requirements while he is in a party. First up, we have his normal attacks. Oron can perform up to 3 consecutive shots with his bow. His charge attack deals increased electro damage, and his plunging attack rains arrows from above, dealing AoE damage upon impact. It's safe to say Oron's kinda like electrocharged Chevreuse with the off-field capabilities of Fischl in AoE situations. Oron is a attack scaling character who doesn't depend on Night Soul's blessing state to gain Night Souls points, and he can maintain that state even when he's off-field. He gains Night Soul points when a party member triggers a Night Soul burst, or the party members deal electro or hydro damage after Oron unleashes his elemental skill. It will allow him to trigger the hypersense effect, so it is important to pair him with the right characters to trigger his Night Soul points and enter the Night Soul's blessing state. And to do this, he doesn't even have to be in the field. He triggers his reaction, gain Night Soul's points, and enter into the Night Soul's blessing state, all from off-field. But Oron's elemental burst is where his playstyle becomes more interesting. He summons a supersonic oculus which taunts nearby enemies to draw them in, and when the enemies are up close, it releases a sound wave to deal damage. So it can be best in AoE situations where you have more enemies to fight. Oron's playstyle is very easy if you ask me, and he provides a great deal of buff to certain characters and elemental reactions, which can be great in 5.2 updates. As you know, certain elemental reactions are getting buffed. Oron can take full advantage of the scrolls or the hero set, another great artifact set for Natlan support characters, which allow it to buff massive elemental damage bonus to all the party members, including the main wiler of it. Using an ER or attack stance, electro damage goblet, crit rate or crit damage circlet on your main artifact stats, and for substats also focus on ER, but a little bit of EM can also be viable. If you're wishing on the new weapon banner, then the first great magic could be Oron's one of the best 5-star options, but he can also use the Natlan craftable weapon just like CHASCA, as they both scale on attack. And to trigger all the Oron's talents, putting him on the CHASCA team would be the best option, but I also wanna test him in my Novelet Taser team, replacing my Fischl with Oron or Electrocharge team with Chlorinde. Also, Oron's passive talents enhance his combat effectiveness, and support his team allows him to interact in areas with phlogiston mechanics and increases the gliding speed of your party members by 15%. Lastly, I would say Oron is a great support to have, and he's one of the strongest 4 stars we are getting in a while. So if you're wishing on CHASCA banner, I hope you at least get a copy of him, or just pull few wishes to get him, because last time when we got Chevreuse, her rerun took almost a year to return, and I really believe Oron is going to unlock a lot of team compositions that we thought were not good enough, but with him those could be. So that's it for now, guys. These are all my analysis and thoughts on CHASCA and Oron for now. Hope it will help you a little bit to understand these characters better, and I will pass my final thoughts on them for every kind of players after I get them. Until then, I'll see you guys in my next video, and don't forget to like and comment to share your thoughts on the new Natlan characters, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Bye!